Hi guys, it's Manon. Welcome back to today's video. 4 things you should know about restaurants in France. So I think it's always important when you go to another country to try their food because it makes you more open-minded, it makes you learn more about the culture, and it makes the people from that country happy. I know that I'm pretty proud of French food. I love French food. So when people come over from other, countries and come to visit me, I love to make them try French food because it's what I grew up eating, it's what I love and I'm proud of. So I think it's really fun to show other people, your culture through food as well. So I think if you come to Paris or France in general, you need to go to French restaurants to try some French food. But before you do, here are a few tips for you. So the first thing you should know before going to a French restaurant is that you don't have to tip at restaurants, unlike the United States where you have to tip the waitress. Here you don't have to because waitresses already have full salaries. Of course, you can tip if you want, you don't have to, but you can. Usually we do tip if the waitress was exceptional or better than expected, if the waitress, for example, was really nice, really funny, or they were pretty fast even though the restaurant was full and they were extremely busy. Then usually you will give a tip to be like, okay, you did a really good job. I don't tip really often, but when I do, it's for those reasons, because the waitress was nice, because they were quick even though the restaurant was super busy and stuff like that. They won't refuse your tip. You don't have to give a tip, but I'm sure they will be really happy that you leave one. So my second advice before you go to a French restaurant is to know that the service is going to be a lot slower than, for example, the United States. Little side note right here, I compare a lot of stuff from France to the United States because I lived in the United States for about 5 years. So that's what I know and what I can compare. If you come from another country, let me know in the comments how it is in your country because I think it's really interesting. And especially if we want to come visit your country, it's just nice to be aware of. But yeah, the United States, the service is a lot faster than in France. Usually people are in and out in like an hour, maybe an hour and a half. And in France, it's more like 2 hours, 3 hours sometimes. So I feel like it's a lot quicker in the US. And I think part of it is just because of tipping. It comes back to tipping because in the United States, the waitress have to make their own money. They have to earn their tip. So the more people that are in and out, the more money they make. In France, they already have a full salary, so they don't have to worry as much about how many people are coming in and out. So the third thing to know before you go to a French restaurant is to know that you have to call waitresses when you need something. So in the United States, again, I compare ways, but in the United States, you don't really have to call waitresses because they are usually always aware of what you're doing at the table and they're always here when you need it. You don't even have to ask for it. Like I was so surprised, like I will drink something and I barely put my empty glass back on the table and they're already here refilling it. And I'm just like, what the heck? Like they always know what you're doing. And when they see like you're almost done eating, they will put the bill on the table. So you don't have to call them. They're always here for you. Like it's really funny. But again, it's part because of the tipping. They see the more, the quicker the service is, then the quicker you will be gone and they will get someone new in and more tip. In France, again, they don't have to do that. They don't make anything, the service is slower and you have to call them out because they are not aware of your tables. They don't really look what you're doing. So if you need more water, usually you will have to ask, they won't refill it without you asking. Another thing is the bill. And again, it's come back to tipping and the restaurant culture in the both countries, but in the United States, you don't usually have to ask for the bill. They will already put it on the table and say, you don't feel in a hurry, you just do it whenever you want. But it's really psychological. Once you see the bill on the table, usually you're like, okay, let's pay and leave. In France, the bill, they usually would not put it on the table until you ask for it because it's more the culture of you take as much time as you want, really, you don't have to worry. And when you're ready to go, then let us know. So when you're done, you'll be like, excusez-moi, je peux payer, well, or something like that, because they won't come to you until you ask for them. So if you go to a French restaurant, you can just make a little hand sign. You don't have to raise your hand like that, like a student, but just make like a little hand sign and maybe say something like, excusez-moi, excusez-moi. So the last thing you should know before going to a French restaurant is that we don't have free refills. So free refills, we used to not have it at all. Now it's coming in a little because we're getting Americanized. Is that even a word? Like we get a lot more American things in France. And so free refills is something we used to not have. Now it's coming in, not in restaurants, but more like kind of a mix between fast food and restaurants kind of things. I don't know how it's called. But at actual restaurants, you don't get free refills. So in the United States, you know, you buy one Coke and they will refill it as many times as you want. But in France, you buy one Coke, you get one Coke. If you want another one, you have to pay for it. So I don't know if it's good or bad. I feel like part of it is kind of good because they make you pay a lot more for Coke in France and you get one glass, and you pay a lot less in the United States and you get a lot more, as much as you want. So I mean, price-wise, I guess it's better. But then for health reasons, it's not always good because I usually don't drink that much Coke or other sodas. Like, I like it sometimes, but I don't drink much. And at French restaurants, like, if I get one glass, usually it's good enough for me. But in the US, because it's free to drink it, like, you will drink 3, 4, 5 glasses because, like, I mean, they refill it for you, so why not? Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I will see you in the next one. À plus!